So in this video, we're going to talk about a guy called Bernie Sanders. Now, the majority of people probably know who Bernie Sanders is, but just in case you don't know, let me quickly fill you in. In 2016, Bernie Sanders decided to run as a Democratic Socialist in the presidential primaries, and he was against loads of different Democrats, but it ended up essentially him versus Hillary Clinton. He was forced out by the Democratic establishment, and Hillary Clinton took over, and just in case you don't know, she lost to Donald Trump in 2016. Then in 2020, after a lot more name recognition, loads more people knew who Bernie Sanders was. He was able to raise loads of money and he was doing really well in the Democratic primaries for 2020. But again, the Democratic establishment screwed him over and replaced him with Joe Biden. It's a long story. Look into that because it's madness. But anyway, Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost. So that's what happened. And Bernie Sanders, he's got a lot of good points. He touches a lot of different interests that appeal to the ordinary American people, like healthcare, minimum wage, childcare, loads of different things. He's a really good candidate with some good perspectives, and he seems to have some integrity. I do disagree with him on some things, but at least he has stayed consistent with the things he has believed and hasn't really sold out. But it doesn't change the fact that sometimes he can just come across as really ignorant and doesn't really understand what's going on. And that's what happened when he was on Jon Stewart's show just recently. I have a small clip for you to show an example about this. So let's move on to it and have a look at that. So here's Bernie on the Jon Stewart podcast. I didn't even know he had a podcast. I think this might be a new thing, but I saw this clip over on x.com and I thought Bernie Sanders is always an interesting guy, so I'll check it out. And within a few minutes, he's already starting to say things that don't really make sense. But he touches ground on some of the things that I do agree with and with a lot of what the American people agree with. But at the end, it kind of makes clear that he is really ignorant to what is really going on here. So let's take a look at what he has to say.
Bottom line is, Donald Trump said, the system is broken. That's all. And I'm going to smash it.
Right. I'm going to burn it down.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what Democrats have been saying is, basically, we're going to tinker around the edges, but we defend the status quo. We'll make a little bit of a change here or there. So if you're an ordinary person, and you don't have to have a PhD in economics, what you understand is that you can't afford housing. You go to the grocery store, prices are higher. You understand that everything being equal, your kid may have a lower standard of living than you do, despite huge increases in worker productivity. Mm-hmm. You look around and you're seeing billionaires becoming much richer, while people in your neighborhood are falling further and further behind. You can't afford to go to a doctor, or if you're lucky, if you're blind, a doctor. If you have a little baby, the cost of child care is extremely high. You're worried about public education. The system is not working for you. The reality is it is working very, very well for the people on top, the people, in fact, who Donald Trump will end up defending.
Now, this is what bothers me. What is he even talking about? I mean, a lot of that there makes sense and it touches with a lot of us. We can all understand what he's talking about. But when it comes to the end and he's gone on about, oh, these are the billionaires that Donald Trump is going to protect. So do you not know who has been in power for the last 4 years? Those guys could have changed anything at any point, but did nothing. The same rules are still in place. Have you not seen who has been in control of the presidency for 3 of the last 4 presidential cycles? The Democrats have been in charge and nothing has changed. Do you not understand who has been in control of the government for all of this time? It is the billionaires. You're saying Donald Trump is going to protect them, but the Democratic elite has been protecting them all this time anyway. It's like, does he not see that? Is he completely blind to that fact? It's not a case of the Republicans are crooked or the Democrats are crooked. It's like they're all crooked. It's part of the same system. It's the establishment, and they are all bought and paid for by the same people. And this is what frustrates me here. It's like Bernie is just ignorant to that point. There's an establishment that is in control of these political parties. They're in control of the media. They're in control of the government. They're in control of the military-industrial complex. It's all part of one big cabal. And it just seems as if Bernie misses out on that point, and it shocks me. After everything he has been through and all of the times he has been screwed over by the establishment elite, he still thinks Donald Trump is the bad guy. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a massive supporter of any politician. I think that they are all crooked and they are all liars, but there's one guy out there who clearly is not part of the establishment elite, and that is Donald Trump. So as far as I'm concerned, if there's anybody to get behind, it's to get behind the guy who the establishment clearly hate, and that is Donald Trump. You've got to stop this talk about it's the Democrats that are the good guys, because it's clearly bullshit. The Democrats, Republicans, all of these politicians, they're all bought and paid for by the elite, and it's time to move forward with a new system. As Bernie Sanders says in that very clip, the system is broken and it needs to change. It's not going to change if you keep electing the same establishment candidates into power, is it? But let me know what you think. Do you agree with Bernie Sanders here? Do you think Donald Trump is going to protect the billionaires and the Democrats have tried so hard to stop the billionaires? What do you think? What's your perspective? Am I crazy? Is Bernie crazy? Are we all just crazy? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll make another one very soon. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.